So number one is the difference between unsecured business lines of credit and secured business lines of credit. When you're applying for a BLOC, they're going to look at your personal credit score. They're going to look at your business profile. And they're also going to look at the business's income. Those are the three main factors when determining if a bank is going to lend to you in an unsecured business line of credit or they force you to go secured. Now, with the secured, you're basically pledging assets. Okay. If you default, the bank will take your cash that you might have put up. It'll go after your business assets. It might be equipment. It might be your accounts receivable, your inventory, some real estate that you have attached to that business. Any type of assets that they can go grab and liquidate to get themselves covered and paid back for you running off or you defaulting is what they're going to do with the secured business line of credit. And they mainly do this by filing what's called a UCC filing on the business and the asset. So they have a UCC filing where they just file it on the business, and they also have a blanket UCC filing where they file it on your personal assets, your business assets, everything. So it's different types of UCC filings out there too. When you get approved for a business line of credit that's secured, typically secured business lines of credit are going to be larger amounts. I would say north of 150, 200, 250. It really depends on the bank. It's really going to be at very least the minimum that you can get into a secured business line of credit at most institutions. All right. For the unsecured now, this is typically under 150 at most places, under 250 at some places, right? It's very few of these 250s out here. Typically it's under 150. Commonly you might see 50 to 100 that can be unsecured. So primarily how you want to approach this. Number one, you have to understand that your business is going to at least be 1 year old. More commonly, it's going to need to be 2 years old or above to even apply for business lines of credit at most traditional institutions. What most places are going to require is a full financial package, meaning that you're going to have to present business taxes, personal taxes, a debt schedule, which is how much you're paying out in debts each month, how much you owe overall. They might request a personal financial statement to look at your personal debt, your personal income. It's typically a full financial package at most institutions. Now, again, it's levels to it. So you got other institutions that offer like low doc, and this is where I play a lot. Like low doc or even no doc business lines of credit. Okay. This is my two categories. This is where I play a lot to effectively stack these business lines of credit at a very high level. All right. When I say low doc, guys, all that means is they may request 1 year of taxes. 1 year of business taxes in general is typically where they may request. They may only request 3 to 6 months of bank statements. Okay. So if you got business owners that didn't file, this is where they only request bank statements. They may request just ownership documents. I've had a bank come up this week where it just was ownership documents, beneficial ownership, EIN, articles of organization is what I mean by that. And then you got the no doc is where they just request basic ownership stuff. Okay. EIN articles, just basic ownership documents, just in general. Okay. So with the no doc funding, what they're looking at is your personal credit score. They're going to look at the business make sure that the age is good, the industry is good, and that they are going to actually lend to them. Business income and the business credit scores. A lot of places are either checking Equifax or Experian Business or the FICO SBSS. Okay. And they may want to score above like 180 for this type of product. Now, with the low doc, they're going to request the same things. They're just going to request financial documents for the low doc. So again, that might be bank statements, that might be 1 year business taxes, and so on. Okay. Once you figure out what the institution actually requests for that, then we start running and making our move. So this week we got a client approved for $175K. One was with Wells Fargo, and the other one was with Fifth Third, just for example purposes. Okay. This particular client, they want $500K is the goal. All right. So we have $325,000 more to get. So this is where it gets cool. So with these business lines of credit that they were approved for, they actually were approved for unsecured business lines of credit. So the bank did not put a UCC filing on their business for that approval. All we're going to do, guys, to go get the rest of the 325 is stick with unsecured business lines of credit. Okay. So what that would look like when we're putting our sequence together, that may be 3 banks that offer 100K unsecured business lines of credit, right? So we may just stack that per bureau. Let's call it Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion here. That could be the 300K that we're looking for. And typically the qualifications, banks are looking at the top line revenue. So gross revenue, how much the company is actually grossing, plus they're considering the net as well to make sure that the company can actually afford to pay back the line of credit. Okay. But mainly the amount that they're going to approve the person for is going to be based off of their top line revenue. And typically that's 10 to 15% of their top line, mostly. And they also look at things like the DSCR, debt service coverage ratio, which need to be at least 1.2, 1.25. DSCR means is if your business makes enough to cover your debt. So for example, let's say your business makes 10K a month and your debt is 8K. You would have a DSCR of 1.25 in that particular instance. So the lenders, when they're looking at bank statements, they're looking for money that's sitting in the account. They're looking for a net revenues to make sure that the person makes more than whatever their debt is and whatever their expenses are. So with this process, we typically aren't applying online. We're connecting our clients directly with representatives at banks that we have relationships with to make sure that they have a smooth experience, like a white glove experience. Okay. So for example, we use Wells Fargo and we used Fifth Third because we had good relationships with them and the client was in Florida, right? Client made about 3.5 million. So based on the 10% ratio, we can easily get this person 350 or above from one bank if we wanted to. But we want to, again, stack them and not run into that UCC filing, because most banks are going to give you a UCC filing, again, above 250,000, some above 100,000. They're going to hit you with their UCC filing, and that's going to stop you from having the ability to apply for additional funding. So think about it just like a house. When you own a house and you have a mortgage on the house, if you stop paying, if you default, you go into foreclosure, they take the house. That mortgage company has the first right of refusal. They have a UCC filing. They have a lien against that asset. So if you stop paying them, they get to take the house to recover their money. So same thing in banking. So you have to be strategic if you're going to continue wanting more capital in the future. For example, this client, they had a $900,000 business line of credit through Bank of America. Okay. And initially they did not listen to my advice, and they went to apply at those two institutions for, it was $350K that was offered at Fifth Third. And then Wells Fargo had an $800,000 offer, and they weren't able to get approved because the bank wanted them to actually pay off this business line of credit with Bank of America first. Most banks don't want to be second lien position. They want to be first lien position. So if somebody defaults, they can grab their money without any issues. Okay. So that's why we went the unsecured route and was able to successfully grab him $175K from those first couple of lenders. So again, we're going to continue stacking this file strategically now that they understand why I did what I did and why I was telling them that we should stack it versus going and applying for a large amount of money up front, because I already knew that it would be blocked and they would need to pay off that other debt that they had under their business. But all clients don't listen. Okay. They found out after spending time going through the banking process and then having the frustration of seeing the money, but not being able to get it because they didn't listen to me. So now, again, we're going with my original plan, which was to stack all these products together to get them the $500,000 that they're looking for. Okay. So essentially we're going to line up probably anywhere from 3 to 4 other institutions to get this deal done. And it'll be done in the next 30 to 45 days at very least. If you want to learn high level information like this, guys, I'm doing a 3-day live virtual boot camp. I'm going to show you how to earn commission and make 6 figures your first year helping businesses get access to capital. I'm also going to obviously show you how to get access to capital up to $100,000. We're going to do live funding strategies like this we're going to do live funding strategies. We may even do live funding. Some folks get approved and run an application live on the actual calls. Okay. So click the link below. I put it in the description. It's a free ticket to register for VIP. It's a free ticket to register and come to the 3-day event. But if you want the VIP experience, I recommend you getting a VIP ticket. You can ask me personalized questions about personal credit, business credit, your specific profile and situation, a client specific profile and situation, your friends, your cousins, whatever's going on out there, you can ask me and I will give you an answer and show you exactly how to approach it for the best results. Okay. So again, grab your ticket today. Make sure that you like, comment, subscribe if you're getting some value out of these videos. Let's go, man. See you guys on the next video.